Hi guys, so I'll just give you a few moments there to come on and just say hello and welcome. And thanks everybody today and yesterday that's joined me on here. I do appreciate all your support and I just want to say what a beautiful day it's outside and how blessed we are with the lovely weather. And I hope you're all enjoying the day and having a lovely day. And it's lovely that we have the sun at the weekends, you know, for people that work all week, and sometimes the weather might be beautiful during the week, and then, you know, so today is absolutely beautiful for people to be able to enjoy the sunshine, you know. And last night I was talking to my son who lives up in Donegal, and he was saying about the snow they had, you know, so it really made me realise how lucky we are that we live in the southwest of Ireland, because as much as I love to look at the snow, I absolutely hate the cold. So, but of course the kids, my grandchildren, were delighted, were thrilled. You're still cycling. Oh, fantastic, Lynn. And I'm sure it must be beautiful when you're cycling in the lovely sunny weather, you know. But like in Cork last week, we had a few days where it was 15, 16 degrees, you know. My son couldn't believe that up in Donegal, because he was saying that it was so cold up there. And even though this morning we had the frost, I always like to see the frost, because I always think we always get a beautiful bright. A few people there on the earlier live said that they were in the garden. So you know, I'm looking forward to, that's where I'll be heading to now too, after this, you know. So today I just wanted to come on to talk about intuition, really. And you know, for I know, Lynn, that you know, and you know, there may be nobody listening here, but people may view it after that, you know, that I sit here and I sit here with intuitive circles, you know, and the whole reason that I love doing that, and I love sitting with people and helping them to expand their intuition. It's a bit like, you know, your intuition is a bit like a muscle. When you use it, you strengthen it and expand it and allow it to grow. If you don't use it, it just lies dormant there, and you might, you know, I was just thinking about that the other day when I was a young child. Sometimes I had premonitions that weren't very, how would I say, I remember dreaming that my father died when I was 9.5, and he did die when I was 10, you know, so things like that, you know, that scared me, because as a child, if you don't understand these things, you think you're causing them. It's scary, it's not a very nice experience, you know. So it's about like helping people to understand, and I think today people are much more open, even with children, because we do have a lot of quite sensitive children now on the planet, you know, and it's about like learning to help them to understand, you know, that it's okay to be sensitive and it's okay to open up to things, you know, because the crystal children coming in are of a much higher vibration now. So, you know, it's good that they can, you know, that they have parents now that will talk to them about that, and that won't, like, you know, like in my day wouldn't be discussed when you'd have premonition or have things like that. Nobody would even give it any, you know, acknowledgement or understand it. And really, we all have a wonderful intuition, you know. It's like our own internal Wi-Fi. That's the way I kind of want to describe it, that we could open it up and tune in to that intuition and allow it to be enhanced and to grow and to develop. And you know, it's constantly in a state of development where it's always getting higher and clearer and more synchronistic, I suppose, really, you know. But like, everybody has that talent inside them, you know. Every single person has intuitive gifts, you know, and whether we believe that or not, it's true, you know. But you can, the thing about sitting in a circle, sitting in a development circle, the lovely thing about that is when you sit in a circle, and obviously you'd have people at different levels, which is perfectly fine too, but it's like a blend of energy for everyone. And now, depending on the circle, you know, like when I really opened up to all this work, I suppose I thought everybody was coming from love and light, and that everybody would be supportive and want the best for everybody, and like every profession, sadly that's not the case, you know. But I have to say that I sat in some circles that were not very nice, but they taught me loads about, when I opened my own circle here, they taught me like about, you know, to include everybody, to be supportive, for everybody to grow together and expand together. And I have to say I'm very blessed and grateful with the circles I have, because they're absolutely amazing people, like-minded people, totally supportive of each other. You know, there's no competition. Everybody is at their own level and everybody's very happy to be there. And I have to say, I absolutely love sitting in the circle myself, because it's such a fantastic group of people, you know. So like, our natural intuition, as I say, is there for everybody. It's not saying that I got more than ye, but like, obviously if I've been working on it and developing myself and sitting in the power and sitting in circles, obviously my vibration will start to heighten and start to expand. And as I say, it's like a muscle. So if you think about the strength then of your intuition, that's really, you know, you can explain it in very technical terms or in very simple terms. And I like to do simple because I think everybody understands it, you know. And the important thing about doing any work around intuition is like to connect up here. And as, like, I love Tony Stockwell. He's one of my many amazing mentors, you know, and I've had many incredible mentors from all over the world. I've been very lucky. But I love when he says that the perfect way to be intuitive is to have your feet planted firmly on the ground and your mind in the stars. And I just think it's such a beautiful description, because really, we're no good to anybody if we're spiritually spaced out. So that means if we're coming from a place where we're about 20 feet off the ground and we're talking non-stop about the spirit world, but we're not actually present on the earth, that's really useless to anybody. It's really no good. It's actually quite off-putting. And I've met people like that, you know, that all they wanted to talk about all the time. And you know, we're human beings. We have to have a balance. You know, when I go in home and I'm with my family, I just talk about family things. I don't talk to them non-stop about spirit or what I do out here. And you know, I think like there's a place for everything, but when people get spiritually spaced out, they always want to run, they want to give you messages, they want to tell you which angel is here, which angel is there. And really, I just think that that's so overbearing and overpowering, you know. So it's important when we're opening our intuition and when we're using it, that like we're using it from a healthy, balanced place, you know. And like, you know, I would never approach anybody anywhere and say, hello, I'm a medium, I can see there's somebody around you. I think that's appalling. And if somebody did that to me, I'd just say, please go away, you know, because I think it's appalling. You don't behave like that, you know. And as I said yesterday in one of them, like, if you met your dentist on the street, he wouldn't run over and check your teeth, or you wouldn't talk to him about your teeth, you know. That's a different time for a different place, you know. So like, intuition is the most incredible gift, and I think if we use it wisely and for the highest good, because really the whole point of intuition is that we can use it to be of service, to the spirit, and to be of service to the people. Like when people come for readings or healings, they don't want me to talk about me and what I can do. They're not a bit interested in that, and why should they be? My job when they come is to see what can I do to allow myself to be a channel to help that person, you know, and to allow the spirit to, it's a bit like I'm like and that's why it's called a medium, because a medium is the connector between the world, between the spirit world and the person here that needs the message. So it's we're a bit like a switchboard operator, I suppose, really, you know. And it's so lovely and amazing to be able to do that for anybody on earth. And every day I just feel so humble, so blessed and so grateful to do all of this work. Because for me, and you know, I have many hats. It's not about the hats, it's just I have many different tools, and in that way it's more appealing to different people. Some people might come in here through psychotherapy, through hypnotherapy. Other people might come in through readings for healing. Other people might come in through meditation. So it's just different ways of allowing people to open up their own their own gifts and talents, you know. But we all have a natural intuition. But your intuition is never anything to do with your ego, to be honest with you, you know. People that want to tell you how brilliant they are, that I want to talk to, have a message for you, there's an angel around you, that is really, I think that is, and as Mavis calls that, and I totally agree with her, she calls it a leaky medium, you know, when people are volunteering information or coming over to you saying, hi, I'm a medium, there's somebody there behind you. I'm sorry, like, they didn't ask you to do that, you know. So, like, I do agree with what she says, is that, like, you don't approach people, and I would be very much about that, you know. Like any other profession, you work it from the highest integrity. And if you're not going to do it that way, then please don't do it, you know, because it's quite damaging then to mediums and healers that want to work it from the highest place possible, you know. And I've seen that, and it's sad and it's ugly to see, you know, that, like, I've seen that online where somebody will pick a card and, you know, and then, like, the cards are just options. The person makes the choice and will say to them, no, you won't do this. No, you need healing. No, you need to do this. I'm sorry, like, that's just their projection. We're not, like, as a healer, we're just there to offer the information on the card and ask the person, give it to the person and let the person make their own choice, you know. But sometimes people are coming from that ego place where they're going to fix you, and usually those people are scary because they're the people that really need a lot of healing, you know. So, like, when somebody is working, and, you know, I spent a lot of money and did a lot of training with some of the best mediums in the world to make sure I was doing a good job, you know, because when I wanted to be of service, I wanted to be of service from the highest place. I didn't want Christine in the room telling you how brilliant she was or what she was going to do. I wanted to surrender and connect more into the spirit, because that's where the power is, you know. And as I say, Christine is only the mouthpiece for that to happen, you know. So like, there's lots of different way, like, and sometimes it scares me that somebody would go and do a course, do a course in psychic stuff for a weekend, and suddenly they're a psychic and they're putting themselves out there, and that's so damaging to people. Do you know what I'm saying? We're not helping anybody. We're really not helping anybody, you know. And it's the same with, like, when people come for a reading, like, you know, people often come in here, and I would never slate any medium, look, because there's different mediums for different people. But I've heard such horror stories in here, you know, about people going to people, and one woman in particular that came in here and said that she went to this medium, and he drew cancer in the middle of the page and said to her, like, there's a man in your family that has cancer and he doesn't know. Like, that's appalling. That is appalling. And that's not coming from the spirit. That poor woman ran home and got all of her family tested and everybody was fine. But look at all the worry and stress. When you go to anybody for a reading, you're supposed to leave feeling better. It's supposed to be healing. And, you know, we're not medical doctors. So we're not to diagnose anything for anybody, to do with health. And we're not lawyers, so we're not to divulge or talk about anything to do with legalities, you know. And, like, I think there's too many people out there, sadly, that are not using it in the right way. And the sad thing is the damage that they do, and that it won't work. They won't be able to sustain it. And, you know, I love what I do, so that's why I wanted to train and wanted to work it from the highest place, because it's a joy and it's a pleasure and it's a privilege to be able to help anybody on this earth to feel a little bit better. And that's what the whole idea of intuition is, you know, that it's coming from a higher source and that we're just channeling it through, being able to glean that information and give it to the person in front of you. That to me is just such an incredible thing to be able to do, you know. And obviously the more learning and the more I sit with myself, because really that's where it all starts. Like, if you were to go to all the best teachers in the entire world, but do no work on yourself, do no healing, do no meditation, do no sitting in the power, then, like, it couldn't possibly sustain itself either. Because it has to come from your own soul, you know. And again, as Wayne Dyer says, and I love Wayne Dyer, and for me, Wayne Dyer will live on eternally, like Louise L. Hay and all those amazing, Maya Angelou, all those incredible people that inspired millions of people when they were here and long after. And he is so correct when he says, the soul always knows what to do. The challenge is to quieten the mind. And I totally agree with that, you know, because all the chit chatter really that goes on in our head, sometimes the spirit can't get in because there's no space for them even to get in, you know. And that's why, and I totally understand that, you know, because at the start that was me. I was in my head, I was trying to grab messages, I was like the detective in my head, but I really wasn't connecting from my soul. And I realised that, you know, and I had to do a lot of work around that, and I still would work around that, you know. And like I do still sit here daily in meditation, because there'll never be a day when I feel, you know, I don't need to do that anymore. And, you know, that's the great thing. That's why I'm a great healer and a great teacher, you know. And I'm not saying that in an egotistical way, but I'm just saying that, like, for me to facilitate healing for anybody else, I have to keep myself clear and do the work on myself every day, you know. But sadly, as I say, people think this is like a lifetime commitment, it's a vocation. It's not something you learn in a weekend, you know. And I've had people come in here, I just think it's funny, you know, when they come in. I had somebody come in here like when they could come in here for a reading, this young girl who had done a weekend with somebody, and she said to me, you know, I actually would like to give you a message and do a reading for you. And I said, if you don't mind, no thanks, like I don't really want that, but thanks anyway, you know. They're scary, I'm sorry, that's scary, and there's nothing healing or nothing inspiring or nothing comforting about that, you know. So like, our own natural intuition is there in everybody. Nobody is born without it, I promise you, because it's the essence of your soul. But for some of us, it's buried under the rubble. And that's what the way I see it is like that. We all have that spark inside us, but we have to uncover it and come up through the rubble and move the stuff out of the way to allow that spirit to come up and connect and to flourish and to grow. There's no other way to do it, you know. And like, if I sat here today and thought, well, I know it all, I'm perfect now, I'll facilitate healing, but I won't do any on myself because I don't need it. That would be such a lie, and it would be so untrue, and it wouldn't be coming from a good place, you know. The more healing I do with me, the more I keep myself clear, the more I'm available for other people to heal. But it is a wonderful gift to be able to allow your intuition to open and grow, you know. And you know, for a long time as a young girl, I sat in meditation on my own and opened up. I had no idea even what was happening, because I just sat in meditation. I didn't understand that it was actually opening me up on another level, you know. So I kind of closed it down again because it got scary. And then I came to a place where I was happy to open it up and understand it, you know, and learn about it, because sometimes people get scared. And if you bring fear into it, really, you're carrying that fear with you. So, you know, I always think like that, when we work in the light and we feed the light and we nourish ourselves with the light, then more light comes, you know. So it is true, like, whatever part we feed will grow, you know. And I think that's the lovely thing, you know. And it's lovely to sit here. Sometimes when you sit with beginners, you know, I realise now that some of my best information came when I was just beginning, when I had no idea, when I thought I was imagining things and making things up, that I got the most profound information, because the spirit world were trying to say to me, yes, you are this and you can do this, you know. So I laugh now when I think about it, because I thought people were just being nice by agreeing and saying, yeah, that's true and that's true, you know. I just thought they don't want to hurt my feelings, you know, but you know, and it's lovely. And I am starting on Thursday nights, I'm starting a beginner's intuitive circle. And at that circle, you know, I'm doing it on Zoom, but I will include healing, meditation, lots of different things. We'll work with the cards, work with colours, work with symbols, but it's a mixture of everything. And it's just embracing and opening yourself up to any possibilities, you know. So, and you know, for a long time in circles, I sat... I laugh now when I think about it, that I wanted always to stay in the beginner's circle because I met such lovely people and I was really happy to be in there, you know, until one day that the leader just said to me, you come on, like, what are you doing in here? You know, you have to move. But, you know, it's lovely to sit with, I think, beginners especially, because they are so open and they get such great information, and just trusting ourselves to go with that and to allow it to happen, you know. And also, like, even still to this day, when I work as a medium and I'm demonstrating, the first thing I will always say is like, please, if you can't take any information, please say no. You know, because I'm only human. Sometimes my mind will interrupt and get the message wrong. And I honestly want to do a good job. So if the person says no, then I can go back on track and look at it again and see what I need to rectify or I need to look at, you know. And like, I think when you're coming from that place of honesty and integrity, people see it and feel it too, you know. And it's lovely. And you know, I always have great fun too when I'm working with the spirit, because I always think like that the spirit world are just beautiful and full of love and, you know, full of support for us and care, and they do want us to be happy. They want us to live our best lives, and they're always trying to help us and guide us and support us, you know. Sometimes we won't listen to that, but I do think, like, you know, that remembering this, that love like life is eternal, and that the people that loved you, thanks a million, Lynn. And you know, I love all of my work, you know, and I'm so passionate about it because I did many jobs and had businesses that I made a lot of money, but it didn't fulfill me, you know. And I just think the joy for me to sit here and talk about things that I love is absolutely. And now I understand when people say, I remember for years people who say to me, when you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. And I was like, oh, right, you know, but that's true. I now can say it's true, you know. So the important thing really is not to be afraid to open up your intuition, you know, and to realise that it's an incredibly powerful thing that you can use in your daily life for yourself, that you can use it for everything, you know, and also to know that your own natural instinct and intuition is never wrong, you know. But sometimes we mightn't believe it and we might go with somebody else's opinion and it won't work for us, and then we think, oh God, I should have went with what I thought myself, you know. So it's really, like, I do think especially the beginner's intuition is about allowing you to open up and see, like, do I want to grow this? Is it good for me? And also, like, I always include the meditation, because I think the more we calm our mind, the more the powerful stuff can get in. So it's kind of, and you know, we always have great fun in the group too, because like, I think the spirit world always work with me with a sense of humour, and I love that, you know, because we need a bit of fun. And you know, when we kind of laugh, it raises the vibration. So it's very healing for everybody, really, you know. And I think the more we embrace our intuition, the more, like, it kind of spreads to everybody, really, I suppose, you know. And it's such a joy to sit and see people that, you know, they might have started their journey like I did, feeling very alone and broken and rah, and then to open themselves up and realise that through the healing that they can evolve and they can grow and they can enjoy their life and feel free too to be who they are, you know, because the power of our soul is incredible, you know. And as I say, Wayne Dyer, that saying was probably the most profound thing I ever heard in my life when I was a very young girl. And Louise L. Hay, they were the huge influences on my life. That, you know, when he said, the soul always knows what to do. The challenge is to quieten the mind. And that is so true for all of us, you know. So as I say, guys, next Thursday on Zoom, I am starting a beginner's intuitive course. So, you know, there's no prerequisites. You don't have to be anything, or you don't have to have courses, and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do really is to show up. And I'll be doing meditation, I'll be having fun with crystals, with cards, with different ways of working, you know, but always in a fun way, because I think if you don't have the fun, yeah, you have to have a good laugh, Lynn, absolutely. And you know, the growth that you see with people when there's a bit of laughter and a bit of fun, you know, because I think, like, life is miles too short for all of us not to have that fun and laughter. And you know, I always think of my mother, because she had a great sense of humour, and that's how she got through a lot of things in her life. She'd laugh at herself, or she'd have a bit of fun around it, you know. So thankfully she kind of gifted me with that kind of overflowed onto me, you know. So like, understand that we're all intuitive, we're all powerful, and it's just allowing that. I always say, like, we're a bit like onions, that one layer, you know, there's layer after layer, but the more layers you're shedding, the more power is emerging, which is fantastic, you know. So if anybody's interested in that intuition course, it's on my Facebook page. And I know today some people, I've had messages from people saying that they were disappointed that they couldn't see the lives. I know Freddie is trying to help it, but I think it's on his page, the Mind Body Experience. I've no idea, it's something to do with settings. Hopefully my son will sort it out after, because, you know, I did people there that wanted to interact when I was on the live, and maybe they wanted to ask questions. I honestly don't know, but I'm glad that I managed to do them all, and that, like, there's people on here, which is fantastic, you know. And it's lovely too to give people food for thought, you know, because I think at the start I didn't realise, I was always afraid, like, would I know enough? Am I supposed to do something in a certain way? Or the more you relax and the more you allow yourself to surrender and let go, the more empowered and the more intuitive you become, you know. The more we come out of our head into our heart and just allow it to happen from there, you know. But also with the meditation, it helps you to do that. It helps to calm your mind, and it helps you to see your own incredible power, you know. So guys, I hope you're all going to have a lovely day and enjoy the sunshine. I know that I certainly am. And it's funny because I was going to wear a different colour today, and when I just pulled back the curtains and saw the sun, I just thought, no, I have to wear yellow today because it's the colour of the sun. It's the colour of confidence, it's the colour of power, it's the colour of upliftment. So I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day and enjoy the sunshine. And if any of you are interested in any of my courses, or have any questions or anything like that, you can message me on Facebook or Messenger or whatever you use. I'm not, to me they're all the same, but I am getting a bit better. So thanks a million everybody for listening to me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks, bye.